This is Content Farm 24. Before we say anything else, apologies are in order because we've had a break again. I think it's been 3 weeks since the last one, two or 3 weeks. Basically, I've had shit going on. Clyde's had shit going on. Getting the boys together has been a challenge until today. But I obviously will get back on track from now on. And because we've been off for so long, there's lots to talk about. The topics have piled up. Battlefield just came out a couple of days ago. I played Black Ops 7 back when beta was running last week, etc., etc. I also wanted to cover the Game Pass increase, some Halo news about the announcement this weekend. Yeah. Anyway, I'm with Clyde and Peter, as normal. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello. Hey.
Hey, happy to be here.
Hey. So, what do you think? Should we just... I'm kind of excited to talk about Battlefield because it's so fresh. Should we just go straight to Battlefield?
All right, let's do it.
Right, I fucking love Battlefield 6. Honestly, like this Battlefield 6 has been the most fun I've had in like an FPS for a really long time. Like the beta was fun, but like the launch sort of weekend was way more fun than the beta. Like I wasn't expecting there to be so much like just instant, like so much like so many guns. There's so many guns, and all the new maps are way better than the maps in the beta.
Oh yeah,
they really said that like the beta was just they just included their small maps, and there was going to be like better maps at launch, and they weren't lying because I think after like day one of the launch, I went into like the custom search and just ticked off, like removed the beta maps because they're easily the worst maps in the game, in my opinion. Especially that one that's just like the small city block, the small town block.
Yeah.
That map's
100%.
horrible.
Hate it.
Liberation Peak is also questionable. The best maps are the ones that are like traditional Battlefield maps with a good mix of vehicle paths and like complexes. I think my favorite one, I forget the name because it's like the brand new map, is the one where towards like the NATO spawn side, it's like trenches.
Well, they're all brand new, aren't they?
Well, they are all brand new apart from Firestorm. Yeah, so I mean ones that aren't from beta as well.
Okay.
I don't remember its name. The one with the construction site in the middle and the trenches around the...
Yeah, that one's good.
I think that's the best map in this game.
I like it too, yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Peter? Have you had a good time on Battlefield?
Yeah, it's great. The vehicles feel like they're in a good place. They don't feel like overpowering.
That's true, actually, yeah.
But like, I feel like you could get on a good kill spree with them, but you have to be careful. You don't just run out there and you get kills like 3 or 4. You know, when everyone was in vehicles and you just felt completely useless as infantry.
Yeah, I feel like when I see a tank as an infantry, a lot of the time we do like deal with it as a team, as opposed to in Battlefield 4, it was just like, oh my god, run away.
Yeah,
I think there is a bit more. There's a bit more like competition between the engineers and the tanks this time.
Yeah, which is great.
I don't know if you've seen the memes about the landmines, but the landmines are so broken. You can deploy so many of them, and they don't go away when you die. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, at least not like immediately. There's definitely, because I've like been dead, and then I've come across some of my old mines before. Like that's happened to me. I don't know if it's a bug, but they just one shot tanks, and I think you can throw down 3 of them like at every spawn on an engineer. So like, if you go to like an objective, you'll just see these blue and green lights all over the floor. There's so many fucking mines. It's definitely the best like anti-tank weapon.
Yeah. The vehicle play is much better balanced than the previous series, so that's fun. You can have fun inside vehicles, and at the same time, you don't feel completely defenseless against them.
Yeah, that's it.
And
that's the thing. It's you got to have a bit of counterplay. It's good.
Yeah, because I know you've seen it too. Like Battlefield 4, like you see the enemy in a helicopter and they're just there the whole game. You know,
Yeah.
And like you can't even get a lock on them. They're just flying between buildings so fast, and it's just yeah. Anyways, and like you said, the weapons, the variety is good. They feel good. They're really satisfying to use. They got like I haven't had much play with the shotgun, but
it's still good. I think they have changed it since beta, but oh my god, it's still perfectly adequate. I've
gotten one tapped with it quite a few times.
I've been on some rampages with it.
A respectable distance, so it definitely has its uses.
I do like.
Can I ask, how's the server performance been? Like with these, I mean, it feels like this Battlefield entry kind of came out of nowhere because the beta really got visibility on it. I'm curious, how did the servers hold up through launch? Has it been a pretty stable connection and good experience?
Completely fine. No problem.
Really? That's great.
I have not encountered an issue. Have you, Peter?
That's sick.
I don't think I've
gotten killed behind cover a few times.
That's yeah. I have died around corner a couple of times, but that happened in like all Battlefield games. At least from my memory anyway. Yeah. So I wasn't really surprised. I was like, the server's not broken. That's just kind of how they've always been. So so I wasn't really like bothered by it. It is not like constant. It's pretty rare, but yeah.
Yeah, it's rare though. And when I get hits, I can tell the hit detection is working.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
The actual performance is great. Like it runs smooth. It looks.
Oh, you mean
great.
like actual PC performance? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it runs really well for me. It runs really, really well for me. Like I don't use any upscaling because I noticed that the game, like even with like quality, FSR or DLSS, I was like, it's nice and the frame's nice, but it's a little bit blurry. So I turn it all off and I'm just raw dogging the game on like the highest settings, and I have it capped at 120 and it just never moved from 120 FPS on like that on the highest possible settings. I'm like, wow, this is like heaven. This is really, really nice. And it looks amazing. Like it's not like it's cheaping out on the graphics. It looks, looks very much like a 2025 game. Yeah,
looks amazing, and even in HDR, it looks really nice. And it's not like the shadows are, imperceivable. Have you noticed much about the whole indoors outdoors lighting thing?
Yeah, I've seen some. I've noticed it myself, and I've seen some pretty bad clips on Twitter of it as well. It's just, it's that transition that's supposed to like. It's supposed to emulate real life of being inside, and so like outdoors look blown out. Honestly, I don't really know if I have, and it hasn't happened enough for me to be like, fix the game. Like I don't know. It looks kind of cool though, so I kind of like it. But it is annoying. It is cool. It is annoying when you die to it. It hasn't happened that often.
I can tell when someone's inside a building at least, so that's good.
Yeah, basically that, Clyde. You get fucking that Superman scene, like that Superman scene where he's like, "I am human. I cry, I get scared," and the sun's like flashbanging the camera. That's what Battlefield 6 is like.
That's funny. I remember you showed us a clip during the beta that was like pretty dramatic. It was like pretty crazy. It was pretty wild night and day from inside outside buildings. So
yeah, it doesn't luckily it doesn't happen that often. It's very situational. You have to be in like a certain building for a certain amount of time, and the camera just kind of gets itself a little bit like over adjusted. I think that's all that happens.
It doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
but yeah, I haven't yet had it like mess me up where I literally couldn't see someone indoors. So either they made the players more easily visible, which would explain a lot. Because just making them a little bit immune to that would help. Because that's literally all we care about, right? Just player visibility through that crap.
Yeah.
So otherwise, no biggie. I don't care about not seeing the chair in the corner as I walk in.
No, yeah, I love the game. I want to really emphasize that I love the game before I start like nitpicking shit. I've got some complaints that I'm aware are so cringe. Like, I'm gonna preempt anyone arguing with me. I know this is cringe. Like, one of them is like, have you seen like the pre-order skins, Peter? Like the black and red ones. You like a lot of like the sweats run around in it. Yeah, it's kind of like black uniform and the guns are like black and red. Cringe. Yeah. Cringe.
Not that good.
This is my take. This is my take that I know is just, it's like, it's just black and red. Like I know it's still like relatively believable. It's not believable. You would never see you would never see like a soldier running around with like black and red hexagon, like pentagon, like kids first wallpaper, kids first phone wallpaper patterns on his gun. But like,
are these the skins? Are these the ones you're referring to? I dropped it in topics.
Yes.
They are? Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I was like, this does look a little try-hardy. This does look a little like, it's my first PC gaming, and I've got a black wallpaper and red lasers. Like,
it is, exactly. That's what I think. I know it's believable.
That's very, I didn't make it into the military, but I want to wear military gear kind of look.
Yeah. It's like there's people on YouTube who like spray paint their military gear, like airsoft. It looks like
there's a term for it. It's called tactical.
Yeah. Look, and obviously I know it is believable. Like, it's not silly. It's not too silly like anything in Call of Duty. Yeah, I know. But I think for me, it's just all the other skins are so cool. Like
I'm
the basic
sorry.
ones.
Yeah, if you're wearing this skin, you are the bad guy.
You
I'm
are
sorry.
the bad guy.
You are.
Yeah.
You're the goon.
It's really just
You're
not
the hired
that cool.
guard.
Like being like maturing is realizing that the bare like standard uniforms are the coolest. Like that's just so cool. And also, if you remember when I was talking about the Battlefield beta, I commented on how cool it is that everyone on your team, like in Star Wars Battlefront and like in old DICE games, is wearing like matching uniform. Like you're all crammed in a room, or you're stuck in a choke point and you're in trenches and you're all in like your NATO US Army uniform. Yeah, you could add customizations to that uniform, make them unique, change your uniform and stuff, maybe change a color here and there.
They're all in line,
but
though.
now it's just like
but
now it's just like some of them are in perfectly accurate uniform and some of them are just wearing black. Like that's what it looks like now. So the team unity like of the uniform is now gone because I
could help with that?
Of them are wearing,
I don't know if it has it in some games. Yeah,
a slider. That's what I say. That's what I say would help. A slider to turn off all cosmetics. To turn off all cosmetics. Yeah.
I just say a switch, but yes, exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
Like that helps a lot. I forget what game that also did that on, but made a huge difference with just immersion, period, right? Like, I can only imagine what Black Ops 7 is like at this point.
God, yeah. I mean, to be fair, Black Ops 7 is apparently... We'll talk about Black Ops 7 later. We have a lot to say on that, but we're going to rolling back some silly skins, apparently. But it's still COD. It's going to look...
Oh, they cut back. Okay.
Yeah. They
Interesting. I'm excited to hear about that.
But, yeah, I appreciate the fact that they're trying to make cosmetics that are, like, cool without being ridiculous. But for me, those black pre-order skins look stupid. Like they look like the like army uniforms you'd buy as a kid in like the toy shop. That's kind of what they look like. And
it looks like movie military.
Military, yeah.
Yeah.
Generic bad guy movie villains a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just and it's just a shame because when I'm shooting enemies, I'm like, oh look at all these enemies like cool Pax Armada, I think is the name of the faction. Like, look at all those cool uniforms. They look really sick, and they look kind of believable. They look kind of Ukrainian in terms of the uniform in some ways. But then you just have these black and red sweaty motherfuckers sprinting around. And I'm like, I thought this is what we were not doing. Like, I thought we were not doing this. Where like, it's still a military uniform, but it's not like a really believable one. It's definitely very custom. You wouldn't see anyone in an actual army wearing that. They'd have to just wear their standard assigned uniform. But yeah, like I said, I know how nitpicky that is. It's just, I feel like if we've gone so far to tone down cosmetics, why not just keep doing that? Like that was launch day. It was a pre-order skin, and already there's a skin that's like very different running around to the point where you see it and you're like, oh, that's that skin. Like I thought that was the point. I thought that's what we were not doing. But yeah, ran over for that. Did you see? Speaking of skins and stuff, this is the other end of the spectrum. There's a mastery camo that you unlock when you get every gun to weapon mastery 50, which is a long grind. Like I don't think I have any above like 30. Like none of my guns. But when you get to weapon mastery level 50, you get like a cool gold and black skin for the gun that you got to. That's like the max. I'm guessing like the max weapon mastery. And people are complaining because apparently it looks nowhere near cool enough. And I'm like, again, I'm on the side of like, I think it is though. Like they look like a cheap bundle from COD, if that makes sense. Because COD's like expensive bundles are all like fucking projector screens coming out of the gun, playing fucking movies and shit. And it's like, like sport summoning fucking demons out of the weapon inspect animation. That's like COD's expensive bundles. But it looks like the weapon mastery camo, I don't know if you want to look it up so you can see, but it's like, it looks like...
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
It looks like the basic bundles that you get when a COD game first comes out. The ones that are like, oh, that's cool. I wonder if they'll be irrelevant in 2 months. And they always are, like, every time.
Yeah.
It looks like those. And I like that skin. And I think people are not understanding that the subtlety is kind of the point. It's not supposed to be like a space camo. It's supposed to be like just a cool looking gun. It's really not supposed to be that insane. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's what we all complain about.
it does kind of feel like there is like some percent of the population of these games that like for them the point is the skins, but it's like that's not the case in Battlefield. Like they're going for realism, they're going for understated. So it's kind of weird. I think that's probably people with a COD mentality or something else, some other mentality that's like the I want wacky skins. It's like that's we don't do that here. This is the embodiment of the we don't do that here meme.
Yeah, and we made such a big stink about the skins as well. Like everyone made such a big stink about the skins. So honestly, if the weapon mastery camo was like didn't exist, or it was just like some army camo, I think I still would have been like, I mean, I guess that's a bit lame, but I don't really care because this is, that's what this game was supposed to be. They said they were doing this. They said that we were going to have like no silly skins. I don't want a space gun. If I wanted a space gun, I'd go and play fucking Black Ops 7, which I might anyway.
Yeah, I feel like what they look like to me is they look like the kind of weapons that like a warlord in like a third world country would have.
Yeah,
you know, some really kind of gaudy, like in a way that almost makes it realistic because it's like some
it looks like those guns like rich YouTubers buy. It looks like those just like designer weapons.
Yeah, and like what people want is like completely gold plated, like shiny, eye blindingly gold, like you're holding C-3PO in gun form or something. Like,
but I think that looks cooler. I think the subtlety is way cooler, especially mixed with like the gunmetal and the attachments.
Yeah,
which have like their own unique kind of like black and signature and like patterns on it, unique to the mastery skin. I think that's cool, and it's not like in your face because that's not what Battlefield wants to do. So I do appreciate that level of subtlety.
Yeah,
I don't know. Clyde, do you think you'll ever get on Battlefield 6, or is that not up your alley in terms of gameplay?
Inside of me there are two wolves, and one wolf loves the realism and the grittiness of Battlefield. The other wolf of me does like a good techno noir thriller with some espionage. So the campaign in Black Ops might be up my alley. I mean, later campaigns might be. So I have two wolves inside of me, but I will say I don't like when the wolves mix and match. Like I don't like when I'm in the realism game and then suddenly we're playing with American Dad skins. That rubs me the wrong way, and I'm not a fan of that. So yeah, it really depends on the headspace and the vibe I'm in. But yeah, probably more often than not, I'd prefer the realism angle.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
I will say, anecdotally, look, I just did a quick search to see how sales figures for the Battlefield game are looking, and they're pretty positive right now. It's smashing sales charts pretty well. So
they're pretty strong. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are executives, at Activision or on the COD side that are like, man, they're letting so much money walk out the door by not shilling crazy skins. But the market is kind of answering with their wallet here. They're kind of voting with their wallet, which is like we don't need the crazy skins to have a great time. Like we just want stable servers and some good gunplay. And yeah, it is definitely interesting. It's really interesting watching this like total dichotomy play out in real time with these two huge franchises.
Honestly, I can't believe how successful it is. Like, I know you're excited for it and all, but like 750k players? I don't understand how successful it is. Like, I've never seen a Battlefield game be like that big before. Like, at least not in my memory. That's so big. That's like an unprecedentedly successful game. And like, it's cool and all, but like, it's still just like a return to form Battlefield, like standard formula. Like, what the fuck? Like, Jesus Christ! Like 750k players on Steam. Like, what are we talking about? That's unbelievable. I'm so happy. I'm happy for them. It's just kind of like
pretty wild.
Like, what? But yeah, what were you gonna say, Peter?
Well, I think it says a lot about how good of an entry this is in the series that it's doing so well. But it's also there's been a lot of exile from Call of Duty fans who are just exhausted from, getting a new title every year, every 2 years or something.
It's been every year for a while now. Yeah.
And then, like you said, like the ridiculous with the skins and everything, and they don't really change up the formula too much. Which, I mean, some people like that about it. They just love COD and they don't want it to change. But I think you have to admit, even though they've had a lot of bad decisions in the last couple titles, Battlefield has really tried hard to like changed the formula a lot, and I think that's part of why this is good. This has been so good is because like people are finally seeing like a return to form of what made Battlefield so good originally. Like I'm seeing a lot of stuff that what I liked in Battlefield Bad Company too. Because like I said, the balance of vehicle combat, the variety of viable weapons, you know, the good stages, like that's just solid parts of the series that made, you know, the earlier ones so memorable.
It's a slight caveat. It's not like a server issue, I don't think. But I don't know if you heard about this, Peter, but people who pre-ordered through the EA app, a good amount of those were not able to get on the game for like a whole day when the game released.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, yeah. And I heard a lot of people returned it just so they could actually play the game on release day.
Yeah, on Steam. I think people just went to Steam instead. Yeah. I think some devs even said like fuck the EA app. Like use Steam instead. But they're getting compensated. Anyone who like had that issue is getting compensated. I think they're getting like the first 2 season passes for free. Anyone who was like inconvenienced by that, which is a huge like compensation, especially just for 1 day of inconvenience. But yeah, they're real like they're not called DICE anymore, are they? Is it just Battlefield Studios now? But Battlefield Studios is like they're really leaning into this, like trying to always be on the player's good side. Like they're really going for like the best PR possible. So I understand why they like when they heard about the EA app incident, they were like, right, let's just really overcompensate, like give them huge because they've been on the like the player base's good side for so long now, they can't drop it. Like Clyde said, I think it's impressive how they managed to, you know, keep the game up with like 750k Steam players with no like queue, with like minimal queues or no queues or anything like that. I think that's kind of crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially because of COD like shitting the bed and doubling down on goofy skins, they did get an order of magnitude higher volume of players than they were expecting. So I'm really impressed they were able to keep it online. Like that's great. I mean, that's freaking awesome, and I'm glad people are voting with their wallets and enjoying it. Like it's super sick to see.
Yeah. Do have to hit it with some slight negativity though, because apparently the campaign's terrible. I haven't tried it myself yet, although I kind of wanted to until I heard this news. I was like, I could sit down and like, you know, shoot some bad guys in the Battlefield 6 campaign. Because I remember the old ones being a pretty cool, like, you know, on rails, kill loads of people, blow shit up campaigns. So I was like, I could do that again. But apparently it's really bad. Apparently it's like 5 hours long. Pretty poor story in terms of writing. I think it gets really buggy towards the end because it might perhaps be quite unfinished. I think there's a lot of bugs, especially after like the first mission. Some of the levels are like almost completely unfinished. Like people being out of bounds when they're in the play area and audio cutting out, dialogue not loading, NPCs glitching out. I've seen so many clips. Apparently it's just not functioning properly. It also just looks a bit jank. It looks kind of like a mod. I don't know how to describe it. The levels look nice, like they're made properly, but something about the way like the NPCs move around and do stuff looks like it's not working properly. Like it looks a little bit like, yeah, like I said, like a portal map, like a mod map. But yeah, like I said, no one is buying the game for the campaign. Let's be real. Like
no,
people might play it if they get bored, but no one is doing that. So that's okay.
Right?
Who cares?
Yeah.
The multiplayer is
that's why I think it's such a nothing burger.
Yeah, it is. It's a nothing burger. It's just kind of funny. Although something that is actually very funny about it is apparently the story in the campaign is exactly the same as Black Ops 6's campaign, which is the last Call of Duty campaign. And I was like, really? Are you sure? Or is it just kind of like a glancing similarity? No, I looked into it and the story is like very similar to the Black Ops 6 campaign. I find that so strange. Like, what are the... It can't be a coincidence because it's so specific that it couldn't be a coincidence, right? But then why would you do that? Like, is it an attempt to kind of make a game like Call of Duty? Because they're obviously just going for that audience. I'm really wondering what went on there and why that ended up being the case. I just find that strange that they kind of copied a Call of Duty campaign script. I find that interesting. I don't know what went on.
Depending on how generic it is, it could just be, you know.
It's kind of
That's the
generic.
go-to.
But basically,
Yeah.
the main similarity is that there's a woman who you are like speaking to through flashbacks and through cutscenes, and then it turns out she's like in charge of the whole kind of situation that's going on. Like it's all like a CIA like setup, which is exactly what happens in Black Ops 6 with another female character who you interact with in like the exact same way. Like that aspect of the story is the same. It's just a bizarre thing. Yeah, don't really understand what went on there. Like I said though, who cares? Like, I don't think anyone is getting pressed about the Battlefield 6 campaign. I wanted to have a quick rant about battle dads, which is a term that I learned today, and I intend to use frivolously. And it's relating to Peter. No, I'm kidding. It's just like it's about like
my children, not my children.
It's like there's developed this kind of elitism since Battlefield 6 is beta and so on and so forth regarding like Battlefield and how it's like, you know, these card guys are coming over, these card kids are coming over and they're sprinting and they're sliding and they're jump shotting and they don't know how to play a real game, like a real man's game with like sliding, get in a tank, sprint, jumping, fucking advanced movement, just get in take this tank, take this M1 Abrams, slide on this M1 Abrams, slide on this dick. No, I'm kidding. But like, there was, I don't understand this.
Speaking of sliding,
oh,
I remember you were pretty angry about the sliding in the beta, so I think you may have a bit of Battlefield dad in you there, buddy.
I definitely do. 100% I do. It's part of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the slide thing is, I'm happy that the slide is not very useful in Battlefield 6 because that would have been fucking annoying. But yeah. Anyway, the Battlefield 6, I don't understand where the elitism comes from because it's mainly in reference to Call of Duty and Call of Duty players, and I'm like, Battle Dads, that's not a fight you're winning, because in the time since you released a good game, there's been like 1 million COD games, and they've all made like $1 trillion each. So this is not there's no hill to stand on here, really, in terms of like, you know, being like a good game. If you want to talk about success, then Call of Duty have tenfold beaten Battlefield. But I know that obviously that's not what matters. I just think it's a strange place. I just think it's a strange position to act like, you know, superior. And also, these Battle Dads act as if Battlefield is like Milsim or something. Like the way they speak about it is like they're talking about like Arma 3 or Squad, and I'm like, this is like Battlefield is still, you know, it's a casual shooter. You know, you regularly get like 40, 50 kills a game and shit, and you know, you go on kill streaks with your SMG. You can to some extent, you can like, you know, fast-paced snipe and stuff, and go on 1 billion kill streaks in helicopters and tanks and stuff. It's not Battlefield's not like a Milsim
and
game.
if you do go on a big kill streak, you don't get some super powerful item to help increase your kill streak even more. Which, thank God, don't get like tactical personal nukes or whatever.
Yep, I saw a video of a popular COD streamer, FaZe Swag, I think was his name, like asking why there isn't kill streaks in the game, and I think he was pretty clearly rage baiting, but the Battle Dads were so angry, like that it was a successful rage bait because it's just sparked like a culture war, like because he has a few viral clips where he's like complaining about the movement not being good, or complaining about the lack of battle royale on launch, and complaining about
absolute troll,
absolute
100%.
troll, yeah, 1,000,000%, and complaining. There's a clip where he's like, "Dog, I wish if I just had a UAV." Like he wants like a UAV. That's like a.
Now they are in that game, aren't they? I swore I saw one. I don't know if it was like a player ability or something.
Yeah,
I did see one.
If there is, I haven't figured that out yet. But maybe you can. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very rare, whatever it is, and it's not that impactful.
Yeah, in general, he doesn't, you know, he's upset about the lack of kill streak. Like he wanted like an AC-130, a tactical nuke. But he's quite clearly rage baiting. But like I like seeing the like dead serious, angry responses to it. Are quite
he should have
funny.
complained about lack of heroes as well.
Yes. But yeah, it's definitely a really funny, interesting little culture war that Battlefield 6 sparked. Because let's be honest, for I want to say maybe more than 10 years, COD has had no competition. Like everyone complains about COD doing what they want, with like, you know, making all the decisions they want, being a little bit greedy, selling these ridiculous skins, you know, pumping out games that are very similar to each other. Make some competition then. Like, just do something then. And it's like, instead of just talking and like complaining about a card, like let's do something then. And Battlefield 6 is the first game to do that. Before that, what they made 2042, which died on day one. Battlefield 5 died. It lasted like a month at most. That game was pretty boring. Like, they've been uncontested at the top of the market for, I think over 10 years. Call of Duty has been uncontested for. Halo hasn't made a good game since probably 2011. Battlefield have flopped their last two. But other than that, like, what else is gonna force Call of Duty's hand? Nothing. So that's why Call of Duty is so able to do whatever they want and like act so openly greedy, because what else are the players gonna do? They're gonna just keep playing Warzone because they kind of have a grip on that market as well. And then obviously in terms of
they're like Nintendo with Pokemon, and then Battlefield came up with Power World, and now suddenly
and now suddenly
they
things
have
are changing.
competition.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we can transition into that if you like, because that might be a good transition point. But Battlefield 6 has had a really interesting effect on Call of Duty Black Ops 7. So first of all, let's talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 7's beta, which was last week or 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks ago, and it went on for a long time. It was like from a Friday until the next Wednesday or something. Like, it was on for a really long time. And
it's long for a beta, yeah.
But compared to Battlefield 6's 500k players in their beta, I think Black Ops 7 might have peaked at like 80k on Steam.
80?
Which is 80. Like, I know COD is very popular on consoles and stuff, but still, that Steam number tells you something, right? Like, that's very small. That's way smaller than Battlefield's beta number. Like, this is the beta. This is the exciting, free, like, playtest little experience that are usually very popular. Me and my friends always get on every beta for all these games. But yeah, it flopped pretty hard, 80k. But this is where things get interesting. I mean, this came before the beta. Do you remember a couple of months ago, COD were getting that huge backlash for the skins? Like, it was a really big topic. And, like, when I think we covered it, we made a video on it that did pretty well. And there was that whole thing. And in response to that, they confirmed that they not only have toned down their pre-order skins, but they're also going to avoid like ridiculous collaborations in future. And that only happened because of the positive response to Battlefield 6, right? So this is the effect that we have. And yeah, and they showed the before and after of the pre-order skins. Basically, these pre-order skins were fucking ridiculous. Like, they were like, Black Ops 7 is set like very future, so you can get away with some futuristic looking skins. Obviously, it's all about just being canon to the game, in my opinion. Like, looking like it matches the game. But some of the skins in the pre-order were like, one of them had like an energy shield all over her. I think it was a woman, but like literally like a floating blue shield like around like the body parts of the armor, and it looked kind of like, like it really stands out. And one of them is literally a robot with the pack-a-punch machine, like, as his chest from Zombies. That's one of the pre-order skins. And then, they toned them way down. Obviously, the robot one is only so much you can do, so that one still looks a bit ridiculous, but they got rid of, like, all the bright, stupid, like, child toy colors from the skins, and they said, from here on going forward, this is what our skin's going to look like. And I think that's a really good change, because, God, like, I do not want to see fucking Beavis and whatever. I don't know. I don't even know who those are. What are those people called, Clyde?
Beavis and Butthead, and they're an American treasure. Gosh darn it!
Yeah, I don't want to see them sliding around.
Can I ask Sean? I have a question.
Quad bikes. Yeah, man.
One of the things I've seen a lot online, and that a lot of just a lot of COD fans online have asked for, just the ability to just toggle off cosmetic skins. Like, hey, let me toggle off cosmetic skins and let me just play the game with default skins if I don't want to deal with Beavis and Butthead. What is your thought on that? Is that actually a viable solution, or is someone paying? There is a problem. I want to hear it. Lay it on me.
The problem with that, and it goes back to everything that Activision do, including skill-based matchmaking, and that is the fact that if people don't see the skins, they're way less likely to buy them. Which is why Call of Duty developed this entire skill-based matchmaking scheme, a front that they pass by saying it's for It's for the players, like, the noobs. Like, we want to put them in like noob friendly lobbies. It isn't. It never has been, and we know that because since they took it off, everyone's been having a great time. so we know that the reason they do it is because they want to make sure they can control the lobbies that people are put into. They tried to patent this. Sense. They tried to patent this like years ago. I don't know if it went through or not, or if it was just a leaked patent. But they tried to patent systems that basically allow Activision to put you in lobbies with skins that you don't own specifically. I don't know if that ever went through, but Activision want to do this. Like, they actively try to do this all the time. They want to do this really, really badly. So in terms of a Switch, yeah, it's a really easy fix. But the fact, they haven't done that yet because they don't want to, because they know that if it, like, say some kid's playing, he loads into a lobby and this kid like loves Nicki Minaj. This is Nicki Minaj's biggest fan. Is playing Call of Duty. And she sees her like running around with the cool, emotes, like shooting people.
All 5 of her skin variations. Yep.
All 5 skin variations in one lobby. An entire Nicki Minaj team. Then they're way more likely to pay for that, right? Because they're going to be like,
You're right.
Nicki Minaj is in the game. Oh my god. And they're going to go.
I did not even consider. They have a financial incentive to not allow people to disable them. That
huge financial incentive.
A Nicki entourage.
Yeah,
that makes me sad, but it is. I now see your point, man, and that seems like that would be a simple solution to to appease the people who don't want to deal with Looney Tunes skins. But you're right. I think you're absolutely right. Wow, that's a shame.
Yeah, but that was a nice segue into skill-based matchmaking, because how I said that the introduction of competition can force things to get desperate and force things to change. So the big story about the Black Ops 7 beta from the other week is that about midway through the beta, they added a playlist in which skill-based matchmaking was either minimalized to its smallest degree or completely removed, and noticeably so. And they said this is how it's going to be when the game comes out. People have been asking for skill-based matchmaking to go for since the first really bad one was COD 2019. So
they've been asking for it to go?
Yes. It's been a blight on the game for 6-7 years now. Because of, just because of how insidious it is. It's so bad. Like, Call of Duty multiplayer lobbies are ruined by it because you can't perform well. Otherwise, you'll be put against absolute demons. And it's not like a little, it's not like a conspiracy. Was this lobby hard? Was this lobby easy?
It's not because people don't like skill-based matchmaking. It's because their skill-based matchmaking is so bad. Is that how it is?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I don't really know. I don't think anyone knows all of the because Activision will not elaborate on this. No one has any information. All we know is the way cards worked for 6 years has been horrible to play multiplayer in. It's like the most complained about thing in Call of Duty over the last 5-6 years is the fact that multiplayer is very difficult to play because you feel like you're forced to underperform. And this also allows people to do things like Boost, where they can sit AFK in lobbies and die loads, and then they can go on and get drop 100 kill games. This is a common thing with COD YouTubers because you can because you can really easily manipulate the skill-based matchmaking very easily.
That's terrible.
Yeah, all you have to do is throw a few games and then start recording, and you can go on and you can have crazy games. But on the
Smurfing,
opposite,
right?
Smurfing, but in casual playlists. Who the fuck cares? And
wow.
And obviously the opposite end of the spectrum is you're going on trying to have a good time like I do whenever I download these games. You will notice that you'll perform well for a game or two, and then you'll just get absolutely shafted for 5 games as a punishment. For your performance. It's horrible.
I'm wondering if they're doing what Rivals was accused of, which is engagement-based matchmaking.
Yeah.
Have you heard much about that?
Yes, that's
which is where instead of focusing on balancing the game for people who don't know, it's focused more on trying to keep the player playing the game as long as possible by feeding them wins that are guaranteed by unbalancing the team, and then giving them defeats every now and then just to even it up for other people.
I mean, Call of Duty came outright, said outright that they do this. It's known.
Really?
It's not
no,
it's not
really?
Like yeah,
they did?
Yes, they said that.
Wow.
Well, the thing they said whenever they like started really ramping this up years ago is that the way we have skill-based matchmaking right now is to maximize player retention. That's the only reason they did it. So they didn't explicitly say that, we're going to feed you some easy games, but that is what they're saying. They're just not saying they're not saying it in those words.
What the system is.
They're saying like, we have data from before we did this and after we did this showing that more people are likely to stay on the game if we're controlling the quality of their lobbies, because we can give them easy lobbies and then they'll stay and then they'll spend money. It's all just financial incentive. They want people to see the Nicki Minaj skins and they want people to not rage quit the game for as long as possible. Yeah. And
for a paid game too.
Yeah, this is all
absolutely pathetic.
This has been just Call of Duty for like so long now. Like, God. So yeah, back to Black Ops 7 though. Yeah, they turned it off. Like, after standing on business for like 6 years saying like, you think you want it off, but you don't, guys. Guys, you think you want skill-based matchmaking off, but you don't.
But you don't.
Look at the player retention. Look at the graph. Look at the player retention. We have
the line.
Data.
It's going up. That's good. That's us. That's our money.
They also tried to gaslight a few times by saying that it's always been on in games like since the first Call of Duties, and we were but how come we liked those and we hate this? What changed? Was it like, was there any difference? And they stand on business like,
which is absolute bullshit, because the first couple Call of Duties had actual server browsers,
and you could stay in
completely
lobbies.
Which completely ignored any sort of that shit. So.
Yeah, one example they use all the time is Black Ops 2, which is a really popular multiplayer, saying that that had skill-based matchmaking, that had the same skill-based matchmaking program we use now, which is bullshit because we know that they put in like really complex ones a few years ago.
Either it's bullshit because it's completely a lie, or it's bullshit because, there's no way you didn't modify it anything.
There's no way
for
you
the
didn't
past
modify
2
it.
decades. No way. Get out of here.
It's blatant attempt to gaslight the community into thinking that it's normal. But even if it did have skill-based matchmaking to this degree, that doesn't make sense anyway, because Black Ops 2 was one of the amazing games that had lobby retention, where you could stay in lobbies from game to game, which means as long as you stayed in the lobbies, you physically can't be skill-based match made because you're playing against the exact same people. So this argument completely falls through just with that, just with that fact. But yeah, they stand on business that the matchmaking has been basically like untouched for as long as COD's been around. And no, it's a gaslight. It's bullshit. There's a reason we like them and we hate this, because they manipulated it to try and make us spend loads of money. And
100%.
Just because they're evil motherfuckers. Like, they saw Battlefield 6 coming along and they're like, I think they have a few things like nuclear codes, like the little, like you put the code in, you turn the key and then you push the nuclear button. I think they have a few things ready for like a rainy day, like for D-Day. And one of them is turning off skill-based matchmaking. But I think they have more, but because they're so evil, they'll never do it unless it's like absolutely necessary.
One is an actual nuke. No lie.
One is they'll actually nuke EA headquarters.
Just said we're done.
You guys are fucking done. Like, this has gone too far. Yeah,
we can't have it. Nobody can have it.
I can't think off the top of my head what other things that people have been begging for years, but there's a few of them. One of them is skill-based matchmaking off, and that's like their first call. Like, if things get really bad, we're going to turn off skill-based matchmaking.
That's pretty core to a game. I can't even imagine playing a game.
They've reached that point. They got 80k players in the beta, and they thought this reaches the criteria for turning off skill-based matchmaking. Like, we dragged it out for as long as we could. We told them all that it was fine. We gaslit them for like 6 years, and now that we're at the absolute end of the line, Black Ops 7 is like, no one cares.
The propaganda machine is running dry.
It is. Like, no one cares about Black Ops 7, so let's just beep, 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 turn on skill-based matchmaking. And they did it, and guess what? It was really fucking... Oh my god, it was so fun, Peter. It was so good. The Black Ops 7 beta with no skill-based matchmaking was a good fucking time. I plugged in the controller because Call of Duty is always better on controller just because of the way the aiming works. And
the auto aim
and stuff.
is better on controller, yeah.
Yep. And it was so fun. I played long sessions of Call of Duty Black Ops 7, just playing against like random people. Got shit on sometimes still, but it's just knowing. It's knowing that the lobbies are random is so refreshing. What would happen in the last like 10 cards, not 10, however many, was like, exactly what's going to happen. If you have a bad lobby, your next one's going to be easy. And if you have a sweaty lobby, if you have a noob lobby, you know your next one's going to be sweaty. Like you just always knew that, and having that gone was really nice. But Black Ops 7 at its core anyway is standard COD, which is good. I think COD is like, say what you want about Call of Duty in terms of their horrible fucking practices and the regurgitated content, but it's always good. Like I think for a while now they've kind of held premiere on graphics and animations. I don't know if it looks better than Battlefield 6. That's close, but the last few CODs have definitely been like some of the best looking FPS games since they started using this new engine, which looks unbelievable. I think they started using it in 2020, and it's like a groundbreaking FPS engine. Started off with the Modern Warfare soft reboot, Modern Warfare 2019. And it kind of looks unparalleled, although like I said, I haven't really compared it to Battlefield 6. I don't know which one of those looks better. But yeah, like graphics and gunplay, they're definitely on. They're always on it. Like, just say what you want about Call of Duty, it's always good once you strip away all the bullshit, like the stupid skins and the skill-based matchmaking. Like, there's always a good game under there, and I think being able to see that properly is quite refreshing.
I feel like as a PC user, I'll never be able to experience COD the way it should be, just because I can't pick up a controller. And Call of Duty is one of those things where like literally the pros use controllers because the auto aim is just immaculate, and you can't beat it.
No, you can't. It's just the nature of the game. Like going back to like the last like 5 or 6 I've played, I've always eventually just plugged in a controller. Like. Yeah. It's not a new thing. They're way better on controller. I can't really describe what it is.
It's just a huge barrier of entry for me. It's just a giant glass wall of no. Do not
I think
pass.
it's just the fact that it's always been made for console, aside from like the first 1 or 2 games, which I think were on PC only, maybe.
Yeah. Versus Battlefield, which I feel like definitely way more PC friendly.
Yeah.
And I think it did start on PC.
Yeah.
Like only what was it, 1945? Yeah.
Yeah. But like since Call of Duty blew up on console, it's always been very clearly aimed at those players, and you can tell because like when me and my friends plugged in the controller, we noticed immediately just how much better the game feels. It's definitely been designed to play on a controller. It feels clunky and weird as fuck on keyboard and mouse. It just even like the movement and the shooting feels off on keyboard and mouse.
Yeah,
it feels way better.
It relies on the snap. Yeah, and the time to kill, the reaction time, they all just meld with the auto
the auto aim
and all that
the
stuff.
Aim assist. Yeah. It makes the game feel completely different. It's like effortless.
It is.
Whereas on keyboard and mouse, you're like controlling the recoil, and your hand is like getting shaky and landing like consistently killing like loads of people is getting like strenuous because of the amount of like manual aiming you have to do. But on controller, you just barely you kind of move the thumbstick in a general area. And then the recoil on controller is like just feels like it's nothing, but on keyboard and mouse it feels really heavy.
It does. Yeah.
Black Ops 7. As much as I hate to admit it, because they're evil, and the fact that they did this is gross. But Black Ops 7 was quite fun. It was a fun game. Everyone I know who played it, I think, had a good time. At least once the skill-based matchmaking was gone. They did also, for the first time ever, they let you play zombies in the beta. And I'm a huge like Call of Duty Zombies fan. I've been into it like since World at War. I played them all, done all the Easter eggs and quests and shit with all my friends. The last one was Black Ops 6, and this is basically the same. Like if you looked at them both from a glance, you wouldn't notice a difference, other than the fact that the guns are like futuristic in this one. But like the HUD and the zombies and the way the whole thing looks presentation wise is indistinguishable from Black Ops 6, and the way it plays as well. All the old mechanics like crafting benches and upgrading your weapon from like green, blue, purple, gold. It's all stayed the exact same since Black Ops 6. So the only difference really will be the maps, which I hope are good. I don't really know. Like the beta for Black Ops 7 was just a little farm, so there was no. It was kind of pointless, to be honest. It was really a nothing burger for zombies. They had let us play with a few of the weapons, but most of them were locked anyway. Yeah, nothing to say about the zombies really. I hope it'll be good, but I'm not going to be upset if it isn't. I don't really care that much. Black Ops 6 was fine, but
you'll have to keep us informed on that one.
I will. I'll definitely be smashing the zombies when the game comes out. I think it comes out mid-November, which is a late release for COD, probably because they have to make a million fucking games. Probably because they're like so crushed for time on making games. So I think that's why the release date gets pushed back. But yeah, that was basically all I had to say on COD.
Speaking of keeping informed, let's hear how Borderlands has been going for our buddy here since we last talked.
Oh, I'm happy to give you all an update. I will say, before I turn our attention to Borderlands really quickly, I have one last comment on COD. And Sean, please fact check me here. Tell me if I'm wrong. Didn't Black Ops 6 like not come out that long ago? Like, isn't this like barely a year old? Like, it feels like they're churning these games out so freaking quickly. Like, am I crazy? Have I gaslit myself into getting the dates wrong, or are they actually churning out these games that quickly?
You're not crazy. They release every year, of October or November.
That is wild. That is freaking wild. Like,
it's really isn't it insane? And you know what's worse?
Yeah.
These two were made by the same studio.
Oh, wow. Jeez, that's crazy.
They usually rotate on a cycle of 3 studios: Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward. But they kind of help each other, but that's usually the way it works mainly. But this year, but due to like just, I don't know, fuckery with the schedules and stuff, Treyarch have made 2 on the run. They made 2 games.
It's crazy.
They made Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 with a year in between.
What other franchises are releasing yearly $70, $80 games?
Sports games.
What? Like,
that's it.
Sports games, yeah. Borderlands, though, definitely no way they're hitting that number. I mean, Outer Worlds too, no way. These, like, it's just, it blows my mind. When I looked at dates on Black Ops 6, I was like, this cannot possibly barely be a year old, and they're already pumping out a new one. That's just mind blowing.
Well, it's mind blowing, and it also shows like the dominance and the power behind Activision. The fact that they've actually managed to design a schedule where they are releasing ones to a decent level of quality, despite the shit that we all hate, to a decent level of quality on a yearly basis is kind of unbelievable. It's impressive in a sick, twisted, disgusting BDSM torture way. It's impressive. Yeah.
Definitely in a money-driven way. It's definitely, there's something there. I was gooped when I saw that number was like, oh, it's not even a year old. Here's the next one. I was just like, whoa, dude, that's crazy. But on Borderlands 4, I'm excited to give you all an update. Taylor and I played a little more of the campaign. We've done some vaults. I am pleased to say, I don't know if either of y'all picked up Borderlands 4 yet, but my complaint when we last spoke, my big complaint was I was really nervous about enemy variety, and I was really not down with a lot of the bosses. I will say, like, miraculously, the very next gameplay session, Taylor and I went and started doing some of the vaults, and the vault bosses are actually pretty legit. They're actually pretty well designed. They're complicated encounters with multiple phases. Some of them involve complicated dodge mechanics. Some of them involve weird gravity mechanics. And I was like, this is what I'm looking for. Like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I don't just want bullet sponge enemies. A lot of the enemies in the game in the campaign are, but some of the vault bosses have really pushed us. Like, we've wiped 10, 20 times in some of these vault bosses because their mechanics are just so wonky and weird. And I'm like, I genuinely, I breathed a sigh of fresh air. It felt like a sigh of relief. And I was like, man, I'm really happy that there are some well-designed bosses in this. Are there as many as I would like? Honestly, no. I would like it if all the main campaign bosses were that epic. Like, I don't like, a lot of the repetitiveness of the floating fat guy bullet sponge. I've seen that way too many times in the campaign, and it makes me bummed. But the actual vault bosses, both Taylor and I have been really pushed around and really enjoyed those mechanics. So yeah, I'm gonna say we're still enjoying it. It definitely did take a backseat to Hades 2 for me, because Hades 2 came out over the last week and a half, and that's been getting my attention. But I will likely go back to Borderlands 4 and continue enjoying it. And yeah, I would say solid 2 thumbs up. Definitely been a pretty enjoyable experience so far.
No, you made that sound intriguing, actually. So do you think the vault content has alleviated most of your issues with the game?
It definitely is a nice supplement to the main campaign content. Like, my issues with the main campaign content, like the millions of guns and sifting through and not understanding the manufacturers, with more time, I've started to get a feel of which manufacturers are responsible for which types of weapons. That time has alleviated that. But when I play these kinds of big spectacle games, I really like epic boss fights. I don't know if y'all played Remnant or Remnant 2. I
Yes.
freaking love,
Yep,
like
both of them.
yes,
Yep.
exactly. So y'all know exactly what I'm talking about when I say like the cube boss in Remnant 2. Like I
Yes.
love bosses that are
Mm,
completely weird,
Off the
completely
wall.
different,
Yep.
off the wall. And I think Borderlands honestly could do with even more of them, but the vault bosses themselves at least are that. And I will say, like, for the number of vaults in the game, those all seem pretty well designed and pretty unique. So I'm at least I would say I'm pretty hot on that. If I was still giving the game a grade, I would still grade it positively. I would still probably give it an 8 or 9 out of 10. But I would love even more creativity. But yeah, Remnant. I'm glad y'all played Remnant 2, so y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. None of those bosses in the game are even remotely the same. A lot of those bosses are totally weird and out there, like the boss that like splits apart a million times, or the boss that like sends you into different dimensions. Like, yeah, I think Borderlands could do a little bit more ambitious with their boss design. But
I see.
the vault bosses at least are a good start in that direction. Like, pretty good stuff. I would say anyone who's watching this video who has played Borderlands 4, comment your favorite vault boss. I'm sure there will be different people who have different opinions, and that's a good thing. It's good that there are different enemies that people are rallying behind. But yeah, overall, still pretty solid showing. Still really enjoying it.
That's what I liked about Remnant. That the bosses that you'd fight, they were legitimately hard and not just bullet sponge hard, like not DPS check hard. It was like they had mechanics, they had uniqueness to them, and like you said, some weren't even just bosses. They were just kind of like almost obstacle courses, and like with the
Yup.
cubes. It was great. And the feeling you get from like attempting a boss over and over for hours and hours and still having fun, that's good design right there. That's really hard to do, to make something that someone's going to slam their head onto and yet still at the same time said, let's do it again, let's go, we were so close, we're making progress. That reminds me of like good raid encounters in like WoW or something, where
Yes.
you really feel your team gelling together as you combat this the harder and harder bosses. And so I
Yep.
could kind of see how that would be fun. But how do the vault systems, how does that all work? I'm
I was
not
going to
too
ask because
familiar with that.
I feel like it's
Oh
a dumb
yeah.
question, but I don't remember.
So,
Yeah.
like, throughout the campaign is mostly you going to locations, interacting with NPCs, picking up quests, getting loot. Throughout the big open world, though, you find these vault keys that are kind of broken up into multiple pieces. And
Mhm.
when you find enough pieces, you can then access the area's vault. And the vaults themselves are interesting. They're kind of I've never played a Borderlands game before, so I'm sorry to everyone out there who's like, "Damn, this guy sounds really cringe talking about Borderlands." I've never played Borderlands before. This is my first one, but they're kind of like these portals to these other dimensions, and inside of them you fight kind of escalating encounters until you reach the boss room. So in one of the first ones, you jump from like island to island, and you're fighting these really interesting waves of aerial enemies, grounded enemies, dodge mechanics, and all sorts of stuff going on. And you're leaping through the air. There's these huge like jumping mechanics, which is pretty interesting. But the actual boss arena is, once you complete 4 or 5 waves of this, you're sent into an arena with a very unique boss. It is very much a Remnant 2 level boss, which is like there's nothing else like it in the game. The arena is specifically designed for it. The mechanics are totally out there and totally unlike anything else you've fought in the game so far. But you do have to do some legwork to unlock these vaults. You can't just run straight to the vault door and go in. You have to find the keys and then progress through the story enough to like kind of unlock a little bit of these areas. But it's not too much legwork, and honestly, the core gameplay loop is fun enough that you're like having fun shooting bad guys and getting loot and stuff like that, and like leveling up your character and the talent trees and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, I would say we've really enjoyed it. But the vaults have been, at least for me personally, the shining star of the game, like of the gameplay. I really have enjoyed the specialized bosses and the uniqueness to them. But yeah, maybe I just want Remnant 3. Maybe I'm just like secretly feigning for like, give us more Remnant. Like maybe that's what I'm looking for.
How does the how does the leveling deal with that? If you completed an area and you've out leveled it, and then you have to go back and you have to grind it even more to get all the pieces, are you now over leveled for the boss? Does the boss change his level to kind of equalize, like, or is it just automatically harder? How's that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know the answer. Taylor is quite the completionist, so we mostly do all the quests in each zone as we're playing. But it does feel like the boss scales to our level. Just for y'all's awareness, like both the bosses or the vaults that we've attempted have taken us many attempts just because of their damage and like I'm also quite bad at first-person shooter games, and like I'm very bad at rescuing people when they get into bad positions. So I suspect there is some scaling going on, but as for the precise numbers, I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I think there has to be some kind of scaling on the back end going on, because otherwise we should be way over leveled and we should be trouncing it, but we are not. I mean, whether or not that's a numbers thing or me just being bad, I can't quite say. But yeah, I think there is probably some cheating going on with the numbers in the back end.
I mean, you made it sound quite interesting actually, because you mentioned that during some of your vault raids you get wiped quite a lot, and that sounds that definitely piques my interest, because like we talked about last time, my biggest gripe with like Borderlands 3 is how easy it was. Like I never got to like end game content because like for that reason though, because I was getting so bored playing the campaign that I was like, this is just painful to play.
And there's a lack of punishment for death in a lot of situations.
Lack of punishment for death. You just respawn and go on. And also,
but if you die in a vault, you have to redo it. Is that how it works?
No, if you die in the vault on the boss, you can. If you die on a wave leading to the boss, you do have to retry that wave. But once you get to the boss, the game definitely just respits you back out at the boss entrance.
Okay,
and you can immediately go into another.
That's a decent.
I will
halfway
say,
point.
There is still no punishment for death, really. Like, money seems to be totally pointless in the game, as far as I can tell. Like, you just get tons and tons of money, and perplexingly, like I again, this is my first Borderlands game. One of the things I see a lot on the Borderlands sub is people being like, why did they remove gambling? Apparently there was gambling and slots in other Borderlands games that now just does not exist in this Borderlands game. There's really no good money sink. And I mean, the only thing you really use money for is to reattempt bosses that you've already cleared in the campaign previously, to like farm them for legendaries and stuff like that. But you don't really feel a penalty when you lose. It's not like you're feeling like, wow, we lost a big penalty. But I'm neither here nor there on that. My bigger myth is that I just don't feel like the currency has any value, and that sucks. Like, what is the point of having currency and getting 30,000 credits if I don't do anything with these credits? So
it's happening in so many games recently. Yeah.
Right. I think Borderlands is especially bad for that, because like when you're first starting out and your weapons are crap, you look at the vending machines they have in most games, and like usually there's like one or two items that are like pretty good upgrades, and so it's worth checking them out. But eventually you get so much money, and your weapons are so good you don't even look at the vending machines. Like, it's not gonna have a legendary, and once you've bought the upgrades that you can get and stuff, then money doesn't seem that important. Although I think I know why they don't have the gambling in it, because as of lately, especially in Europe, there's been crackdowns about gambling-esque mechanics in games.
No way.
To a point that Balatro actually ran up against this, because it was being being accused of being a gambling game, even though you don't gamble any. They're just points. Funny. you don't. But
I will. Can I have one thing here? I will say I want to push back a little bit on this, Peter. Like, I mean, to the thing about this, like, nothing to do with these credits. Like, in Borderlands, there's so many things they could have done with credits in the game. Like, they could have sold you skins. They could have sold you vehicle skins. They could have sold you like all sorts of cool alternate effects and stuff. It's the fact that there's nothing to do with the money that makes it completely bullshit. Like, that makes me angry, that I'm like, I've got all this money, and it's like you said, you go to the vending machine, you see that it's literally just a list of garbage, and you're like, I don't want any of this garbage, and you just walk away. And it's basically that ad nauseum. Like, but it didn't have to be that way. They could have had like really cool grinds to like buy a cool skin. There's so many skins in the game. There's a lot of vehicle skins and a lot of like your companion robot skins, but they just, the way you unlock them is you do challenges in games, so because they want players to play as much as possible. But they could have done something with the currency. Maybe it didn't need to be gambling, but damn, they could have done something more. And it's just, it's kind of a bummer that the money like literally just exists to be a number of like, it does nothing. It means nothing. Like on the subreddit, people post all the time. Yeah, it feels empty. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. But the actual gunplay is fine. The gameplay is fine. And there are some bosses that, man, oh man, their mechanics will shred you. If on your first time, like some of the mechanics are just so crazy that like if somebody told me like, oh yeah, if I first tried that boss, I'd be like, damn dude, your intuition's supposed to be very good as a player to like know, get out, like this acid is coming and this gravity mechanic is happening. Like, it's pretty wild. There's some pretty wild mechanics for the vault bosses, but I suspect that y'all would feel very similarly to the main campaign, which is like you trounce the main campaign bosses, you trounce the main campaign content, you barely ever die in it, but the vault bosses are a nice refresh. But dang, when are we gonna get freaking Remnant 3. Let's go Remnant team. Make us
Man,
give us some
I
more
could-
Remnant.
I could go on Remnant. First of all, though, I could think of one benefit to having so much money, and that is you no longer have to pick up every gun on the ground, hoping to sell it to get more cash. Because I remember
God, I
starting
did that
out when
so
you were
much.
just broke. You just grab every gun on the ground just to pick it up, and then when your inventory was full, then you
Sell
kind
it.
of had a Sophie's choice. You'd be like, oh, I got to drop this white because I got to pick up this blue now because it's worth more to sell. And you're bartering with yourself trying to pick up all this stuff on the ground, and that kind of got annoying. And then just not having to deal with that when you had all that money, it was kind of great just to only worry about the really shiny yellows or reds or whatever the special weapons were in that system. But yeah, going to Remnant, I mean, wow, talking about a great game, and especially for co-op, like that game is co-op was a brilliant idea because I had so much fun with that game with my friend, and the bosses were fun, the enemies were fun, just going through the levels, and
very challenging, super challenging, like
very
unapologetically challenging. Yeah, this is not the kind of game that's like, let's casually go kill. No, it's like you will wipe on these things and you'll have fun wiping.
Yeah, and what's great is because of the difficulties, like they require gear. You don't just start out on hard mode. Like I have a friend who always starts playing on the hard modes, and when we first played the game, he played it on the hardest mode. We just got obliterated. Like we ran out of ammo halfway before even the first level ended, and we were using melee attacks that were terrible, and we wiped. And it was like, this game sucks. I'm done with it. And then later, me and my friend, we played it, and we played it at the proper difficulty. Well, we played it a bit higher, and then like after you beat the game, you get better armor and gear, so you can fight the next difficulty, and then you can slowly see the scale as it goes up, and it feels great. The weapons are satisfying. There's a lot of good customization options, not just for the weapons, but for your abilities and for your classes. You can dual spec classes and stuff. The different the rings you can wear and stuff that change a lot of your abilities. It's really great to kind of figure out your builds on that game, and they really do make an impact on the game and change how well you play.
They kind of wove in
too.
Souls-like elements, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I describe it to my friends as like Dark Souls with guns, pretty much.
It is pretty much co-op with good co-op integration.
with great co-op integration. Yeah. Let me tell you,
yeah.
Dark Souls had some of the shittiest co-op I've seen in games. God bless the co-op add-on for Elden Rings, because that really made it so much easier.
I've not tried that yet. I don't have anyone who would play it co-op on PC.
Yeah.
But
I think that the real joy of Remnant, though, is its bosses and how special they are and how different they are, and that takes time and hard work. Like, I can understand why the Borderlands team was like, screw it, let's just release bullet sponge main boss and put a bunch of bullet sponges throughout the campaign. It takes a lot of hard work to like design cool mechanics and cool like encounters and cool arenas and stuff like that, and that's the real joy of Remnant 2, at least to me. It's just those bosses are really cool. I want to ask, not getting us down too far a rabbit hole, y'all can just give me a quick yes or no. Have either of y'all played Returnal?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Well, it's PlayStation only, so wait, is it on PC now?
Yeah. It is on PC now. Yes, it is on PC now.
It was PlayStation only for a while. You might like that because it's a roguelike, but it's extremely challenging. Like, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Returnal.
I was actually deeply interested in that game, where I watched the trailer, and I'm like, oh, talk to my brother, like, we got to get this, and I'm like, I don't see it on the Steam store. I'm like, what's going on?
It's
right?
a Sony game.
And I found out it's PlayStation.
When's your freaking birthday, man? I'll get you it for your birthday. Anyways, but yeah, it's good. It's really, really. I don't want to get you doxxed. Sorry, I didn't think about that before I said it. But
doxxed by his birthday.
I don't know. I have no idea like what kind of information will like get you in trouble. But yeah, Returnal is cut from the same cloth as Remnant 2, which is like super sick world, super sick weapons, super sick bosses, lots of dodge mechanics, fun moment-to-moment gameplay, like. Yeah, I don't know. Oh man, I could geek out. Have y'all seen the next game from the Returnal developers? They already like to throw a trailer out there. It looks so sick. Anyway, sorry, I'm gonna get off on a tangent.
There was gameplay last 2 weeks ago, right? At the State of Play.
It looks dope. Yeah, it looks so good. It looks really good.
Yeah. I'm not as enthusiastic as you, mainly because I got fucking smacked on Returnal.
It's hard, dude.
I
Returnal's freaking
I
hard,
don't think I ever
man.
beat it, and I played it for like quite a while as well. But it's a fucking hard, it's a hard game. I remember there was
Returnal's brutal.
by the time you get to like the third or fourth stage, the one I don't know what stage it is, but it's like the one where there's lots of flying robots shooting you. That stage was like I could never beat it. It was too hard. Yeah.
Did you go through the underwater stage? The underwater stage
Yes.
is crazy too.
Yes, yeah, I remember that. That's a fucking oh my god, really difficult game. But yeah,
Dang.
it's good.
Speaking of good bosses, the end boss of Remnant 2, that was fun.
I never beat
super
Remnant
cool.
2, although I
Yeah.
loved it. I just, again, it was really hard. I was struggling to get people to consistently play it. And then I think like some other games came out around the same time as well, and I ended up just dropping it. But I really liked it. It was a really good game. I never finished it.
I'm down to play some Remnant because
Yeah,
man,
we should.
those
But
bosses in that game.
Is it?
Do
I'm
it.
guessing it's not crossplay. I don't know. I will look into
Is
it.
it?
Look into it.
I
but,
think
like,
it is crossplay.
Oh, it
It
is?
is
Okay.
crossplay because I was on PC and Taylor was on console.
Nice.
Man,
Yep.
I mean that final boss. Oh, Peter knows what's up. That final
Yeah.
boss of Remnant 2 is a spicy meatball. That is a
Yeah.
spicy meatball. Like that is that is a very difficult boss.
Yep. That's where we would like an entire play session attempting that boss, and then that was that whole day, and then I think it took us a couple days before we finally downed him. And then you go on to the next difficulty, and then once you get to him on the next difficulty, oh man, it's a whole different bag of worms. But it's great. The whole fight, it feels epic,
I just saw Sean IRL laugh at me for saying spicy meatball. He's like,
That
oh
was
my
like,
god, this
wow.
boomer Clyde. He's like, God,
Well,
Clyde is
he
so
did it with the
boomer.
accent too. It was best to
Meet
meet
the
the
ball.
bow.
Like, he must be
And then he
serious.
twirled his mustache. And
There's your thumbnail. There's your thumbnail.
Yes, there we go.
Very good.
Have either of you played much Destiny?
I have not. Taylor's played a lot of it. He really
Because
enjoys it,
I don't
but
know.
I've not
On the
played it.
topic of like good bosses, I feel like it has to be
Mhm.
mentioned just because not necessarily like particular, not necessarily. I mean, they are hard, but not really because of that or because of this like the spectacle or anything, but just because of it's so unique, like the way they handle raid bosses in that game. Because Destiny has like the 6-player raids, and some of the final bosses are like you have to be doing some intricate fucking puzzle. Intricate, like where every single person has a job. And I know this does not sound crazy to either of you because I just realized you both play a game where 20 people do this. I just realized that you both play a game where like 20 people do this on a much larger scale. But for me, my console brain, I mean Destiny 2 is on PC, but yeah, for my casual brain, Destiny raids are fucking crazy. Like the fact that all 6 people have to do some really specific thing, and if you get it wrong, the whole team wipes. Especially when you have to do it with randoms a lot of the time because it's not easy to get 6 friends on the game.
Oh yes.
It's very difficult, but it's really cool when it works. Like I remember there's some raid bosses where like like the Vault of Glass, which is the first ever raid in Destiny, which got remastered to be slightly different, a bit more challenging in Destiny 2. Was like one team would like so the team would get split into 2 and 3 of you would get teleported to a random like different planet, and then you have to communicate to the people outside which planet you went to so they can open the right portal to let you out. Meanwhile, one of you is holding this shield called a relic, and the people inside the planet teleporter thing are all being progressively blinded like very quickly, and if you don't shine them with the relic thing that one person gets randomly assigned, so everyone has to know what to do because it's randomly assigned. If you don't get shined with that, then you don't get your vision back. So you have to make sure like everyone is getting like revisioned by the relic. And then you have to use that relic to like dunk on the final boss, and then all 6 of you have like a really, really small time frame to deal damage, and you have to make sure everyone's like min-maxing. Again, I'm realizing this sounds like nothing to you two. This is probably
that actually reminds me of Yogg Saron.
Yes,
And,
Yogs. I was thinking
yep.
Underwear. I was thinking Yogs.
Yep,
Saron as
exactly.
well.
Yep.
Yes.
So check this out, Sean. You get the separate stat called your sanity. You get a bar called a sanity bar. You start at 0, and as you're going through the fight, different mechanics will decrease your sanity. I mean, I should say you start at 100 sanity,
so decrease,
and then mechanics will decrease your sanity. There's some parts which may increase it, but For the most part, you're trying to avoid mechanics that decrease it, and you have like people on the outside who are like fighting the different tentacles popping out of the ground, and like which might grab your buddies, and you'll have to defeat the tentacle to drop them. But sometimes, like these portals will open up, and like they're portals into the mind of Yogg-Saron, and like as you're in there, your sanity is slowly decreasing, and you have to like defeat these mobs in there that are all and then once you defeat them, then you attack his brain itself.
Yes.
Yeah, that does sound similar.
And meanwhile your friends are outside fighting and stuff, and then you have to coordinate all this because like just looking at some enemies actually reduces your sanity, so you have to like look away and stuff and a whole bunch of crazy mechanics like that, and it's literally cool. Like the last boss fight of the raid, and so it's just a bunch of coordination and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I will say, Sean, if you like that, like the roles and the complicated encounters like that, you would freaking love WoW. Like WoW has a lot of encounters like that.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Yeah. Like I do, but I'm really like scared of like getting told off by old men.
Oh, that's true. And that will definitely happen.
World of Warcraft seems like a bit more hostile. Destiny's quite wholesome because I've never been with a random group in Destiny that have been like mean. That's never happened. Literally, I've had people who have been like, come on guys, do this. That's the most aggressive anyone's ever been in Destiny. But I'm afraid of letting down some like 30-year World of Warcraft veteran, and he's like disappointed in me.
I can't say that won't happen. I cannot.
No, I thought will happen.
I run Mythic Dungeons now, and some people are really sweaty in there. Absolutely sweaty. And the thing about Mythic Dungeons, I just want to. They're timed, so if you fuck up early, like literally in the first minute, if you fuck up, you reset. I mean, you're done. Or if you fuck up at the last minute, you're done.
I mean, at least people.
One of the most famous WoW guilds ever was called Elitist Jerks, Sean. So if you want to get an idea of like, there is a lot of elitism in the WoW community, and people, because the game is so old, people do have expectations on the players, and I have definitely seen people like rip each other to shreds, being like, "You just wiped it for all 24 of us. Get the fuck out of here!" It's like, dude, people get really mad at each other in that.
Well, at least they're not blinking out of the raid and fucking not using the mana gem.
Who does that?
It wouldn't be a content farm episode if we didn't throw some shade. At least we're not pulling the ocular. That's a more obscure
people
one.
are toxics, but they're not that bad.
Yeah, but like that Destiny rate is like as well as when the people are inside the planet thing and they're getting blinded and they have to be unblinded. You have a very limited time to get out of this room or you all die, like the room that you've been teleported into, and you have to shoot these lights in the sky, but they all appear at the same time when you're inside, but the people outside see the order that you have to shoot them in. So while you're all screaming, getting like destroyed by enemies, someone outside has to tell you inside the order of things in the sky to shoot. And if you shoot one wrong, the whole lobby just wipes. Yeah,
it is. Epic moments, epic defeats, epic wins where everybody's cheering. Like, you get the whole gamut of human emotion. People cry and scream and celebrate. Wow, but that's great that Destiny has that as well, and that you've gotten to experience that in there. That's what I always tell WoW players. Like, you haven't really played WoW if you haven't really raided with a group and felt that high and low. It's a very special experience, and I hope everyone that plays WoW gets to experience it in some capacity as much as possible.
Yeah, God, I would never have the time. I finish my daily stuff at like 7-8 p.m. and then I go to sleep at like 11.
Yep.
Like what?
It is definitely a job. It is definitely a full-time job.
Yeah, like oh my God, like what the fuck? I wouldn't even be able to play Destiny anymore. I don't think. I just don't have the time. But yeah,
it is definitely a commitment. That's for sure. But yeah,
I mean, if I can pull
you're not playing, or you're not playing currently, are you?
I'm not currently playing, no. I will be doing a in-game wedding in November. Some fans asked me to get some people married, so I'll be logging in for that. But yes, besides my normal priestly duties, I'm not currently raiding or anything like that.
Just checking.
Okay.
Sorry, Sean, I interrupted.
No, it's okay. I was gonna pull back to Borderlands 4 a little bit, but I just wanted to ask, like, is the campaign like? Is it keeping you engaged at all, or is the campaign just kind of slop?
It's kind of slop, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I mean, can I give a caveat? This may be more. It may be better for people who are huge fans of the prior games. I don't really know Claptrap. I don't really know some of these other characters. So like,
I don't
for some
think
people,
they're
I'm sure they're
Awards
like
characters.
yeah, exactly. So I think it really depends on if the person likes those characters or gravitates towards them. For me, I'm just finding that we're going town to town, doing some very similar missions, doing some very similar boss sponges. But Taylor has played the other Borderlands games and goes, "Oh, that's so and so," or "This is that reference," or "This is they're talking about this event," and I'm like, I don't really get it. I don't really know it. So I'm just here for the loot on the ground. And yeah, I would say if as a first time Borderlands player, I would give the campaign a solid like meh out of 10, a 4 out of 10 or something. But the gunplay is fun and the gunplay is exciting. But yeah, the campaign and the story, it's pretty predictable where it goes.
Okay, that was all I wanted to know, really. Also, to complete tangent, but it looks like Peter has like leaves coming out of his head because of the Xbox symbol.
A little bit.
Hey, finally have hair.
Oh my
Great.
God, it's
all
back.
right.
Like
nice.
a plant.
We haven't even talked about we haven't even talked about why Peter's background is like that.
We're going there now. We're going there right now.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay.
So, does someone else want to do that? I feel like Clyde, you want to? You're always, ranting about
I'm
shit
down.
like this.
I'm
This
super,
sounds like a you thing.
I am. This is definitely a Clyde thing. Yeah, so it was announced this month, within the last couple of weeks, that Xbox was going to be hiking their prices for Xbox Game Pass, and this is probably not news to people who are listening to this because then it's been covered and beat to death, in basically every form of media. But just in case you haven't, some of the price increases are quite substantial. I saw, as much as like $10 extra a month or $15 extra a month. Now Game Pass Ultimate is going to be going for $30 a month. And that has had a lot of gamers scratching their heads going, wait a minute, if I'm paying half the price of a AAA game every month, why not just buy the 2 AAA games I want to play each quarter? So it's sparked a huge wave of cancellations. I'm sure, we'll talk about this as well, but hashtags like cancel Game Pass and things like that have been trending. Many different media outlets have come down against the price increases. And I even saw, even in Engadget, like they're a tech review outlet. They're not even like a game review outlet. Even they, had a featured article talking about breaking up with Xbox over this. And it's kind of wild to see the community react to this in real time. But yeah, so TLDR, Game Pass has gotten a substantial price increase, and a lot of people are, calling it for what it is, which is just they want to squeeze people for more money. So yeah, that's the story at the high level.
For the UK viewers, Game Pass Ultimate has gone from £15 to £23. That's a substantial price increase. Yeah.
Yeah. And quite a few graphs have shown that the numbers jumped multiple times in the last year alone. Like since the acquisition buyout, it's like this number has been going up at an alarming rate, and people are suspecting like, y'all think it's going to stop at $30 or £25? It's going to go even higher. And it's like, oh gosh, like many people are already saying this is too much for me. But I suspect that even the folks that are on the other side of the fence, they will eventually have to make this decision for themselves. Like, at what point is it too much? £40, £50 a month? Like, what point will they have to, jump off the ship? And I know Taylor and I, we're just to give context here. Taylor's been a lifelong Xbox gamer. He had OG Xbox with the nasty, gigantic controller.
Fat boy.
He's been a huge Xbox fan. He has had a Fat Boy, and it's like even he is looking at the price tag of Ultimate, and it's eye-watering. And we haven't quite, I don't think we've canceled it yet, but we did stock up on Game Time or Xbox Game Time while the prepaid cards are still relatively inexpensive. But yeah, I mean, we're quickly reaching our divorce state with Xbox, and it's a shame. It's like why they're having to do this kind of increase right now. It's not a good look, but yeah, that is that is where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, what do we think about? Although the increase itself is obviously concerning. I don't know how much either of you know about Xbox Game Pass, but what do we think about? Is that still a good deal? Because Xbox Game Pass has been hailed as like a bargain, like a huge like, wow, you pay like monthly and you get like every game. It's been praised for many years now.
I may be out of the loop, but I mean, I remember, what was it, $10 or something, and you got access to the library, right? It wasn't really limited,
$10?
like, yeah,
it was,
$10
it
a
was
month.
$10. Yep.
And before that, it was what, like $7 or something, or $6? But
yeah,
anyway,
Game Pass or Xbox Gold was originally $7 as well.
Yeah. And so anyways, $10, you just get access to the library. It wasn't like Amazon where like some games were free and then there was a section of games you had to pay extra for. It was just you got access to the library. And then now I'm seeing like the official the official release shows that the essential has access to 50 plus games. I don't I don't know what that means. Is that did they reduce the amount of games or is it
Well,
like
yeah, it must be because 50 is like nothing, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's like nothing.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous. Like you're getting less now. Like it's the whole thing where they take from the lowest tier and they put it on the high tier, and now the lowest tier is worth less, even though it's the same price. You know, rather than like generating some new features to have on the high tier. You know, like access to newer games faster or whatever the hell you could think of.
Right.
So already you're just getting worse value for what you've been paying, which
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah,
horrible.
Yeah,
To your- to-
absolutely
to your-
horrible.
To your point, Sean, is it still a good value today? And I think the answer to that really just depends on the player themselves, like how much they would be willing to sample other games. There are still a lot of great games on the console, and there are still, on the platform, on PC and on console. But if you've played a lot of them before, if you've experienced a lot of them before, then the value goes down pretty dramatically, pretty quickly. I mean, to give you an example, like I looked at the next 6 months of Game Pass because I think that's what our time is like currently renewed through, and like Outer Worlds 2 is on our list, but like there's not a ton of other games like that are like prompting us to go, yeah, we would pay a AAA game for that. Like we're
Yeah.
really excited for that. So it really, I think it depends on the gamer. As far as sampling indies, I think it's great for that. I think it's nice to sample like smaller games that you don't want to necessarily commit to if you don't know if it's actually good or not, or if it's actually something you'll jive with. But yeah, it is definitely a mixed bag, and there's some great games on there. But if you've played Mass Effect, if you've played the Tony Hawk remake, if you've played all these games, then the value goes down pretty dramatically. So I don't know.
Yes.
I think it depends.
Absolutely depends on the library. I mean, I can understand the kind of value they're saying because Ultimate in the U.S. here it's going to be $30 a month, and I'd assume that's all the games.
That's
but
that's everything and PC. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So I mean, I guess you could argue if you buy like 2 games every month that only $30 a month would be a deal or something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if most gamers only buy a game a month or something like that. And so already it's becoming kind of questionable. But you
Yeah.
also have to keep in mind that a lot of these people are console players, and on the console you have to pay extra money just to be online, just to have online access, right?
You don't still do that, do you?
Or is
No, I
that
don't-
part of
I
Xbox
think-
on the
I
console?
think
It
that's
is definitely
gone.
for Sony. I think Xbox does get basic online play for free, but PlayStation, you definitely still have to buy
Yeah,
PlayStation
I
Plus
think
to
I think
do
Xbox
online
got
stuff.
rid of that.
Okay.
But obviously you'd be like you wouldn't. I don't. Yeah, you'd have nothing. You'd just be able to play online games. No other benefits. I think I might be
Right.
wrong, but obviously we don't walk around with consoles that much, so I think be forgiven for not knowing. But yeah,
Yeah, but even still, like if you find a game that you like, then you'd have to keep the service up to keep playing that game, and which over time, the more you play a game, the less value you're getting out of it because now you're paying per month to play the game, right?
yeah.
So it just seems like such a bad compromise.
Yeah, it's
the more you
it's difficult to work out the value, isn't it? Because like you said,
Yeah.
let's say you like 2 games, that's like $120, right? But then if you're paying $30 a month, obviously like the math will work out to a point where after a certain amount of months, you've technically paid. And if you play them games for years, then you paid way more money. But obviously
Yeah.
this is where Clyde said it depends on like
and if
how many
if at
games you
any
wanna
point
play.
if at any point you stop paying, you no longer own the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can't
There's
play it. You
also-
just can't play it anymore.
There's one other really, really big opponent here for Game Pass right now, and that is just Steam. Steam is too good. Steam sales are too good. Their discounts are too good. Steam is Steam dominates the PC space outside of Roblox, outside of those games, but Steam has built a huge following of gamers and fans that love that ecosystem, that embrace that ecosystem. They, Gaben memes are forever, and it's like I find that I find more and more when I look up the price of games online, I'm always shocked to see just how often PC games go on sale on Steam and how seldomly they go on sale on console. And that makes the the price proposition a little bit even better on PC. It's like, why pay? I mean, think about it, $30 a month. That's over $300 a year for Game Pass, right? That is over $300 a year. You know how many games you can buy for $300 on Steam, especially if you're sniping deals? You can get really good deals on Steam, and you could build a whole ass library for $300 a year. Like that is a lot of games on Steam. So I don't know. My value proposition is getting loopier and loopier. I've also become more of a Steam Deck gamer. I just played Hades 2 on Steam Deck, and the more time I spend on that thing, I'm like, dang, I freaking love this little thing. I love the Steam ecosystem. So yeah, I don't know.
Hades is amazing on Steam Deck. That might be like the best Steam Deck game of all time.
He's very pretty. He's very pretty.
Yeah.
$300, man. I don't know, $300 a year and more with tax. That's pretty pricey.
Well, you're thinking it's $30 a month, and it's 12 months, right?
So it's 360.
So that's 360, and that's not including tax, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's probably more than that. So the amount of games that you could get, and not just get, but keep and own forever, right? So
maybe they should rename it. Maybe they should rename the console the Xbox 360. $360 a month.
Oh,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's a nice one.
Red Dead 2 is like $15 on Steam this week. I'm just saying, Red Dead 2 is an amazing game, and it's like not even $20. Like, what is going on here? What is going on with the price of these games? Like, it's pretty crazy. It's definitely pretty wild. It's going to be interesting to see how this climate plays out, because I do think $30 a month is still a pretty reasonable value if you haven't played a lot of these games before, but I don't know. I think that price is going to keep going up, and it's going to get pretty icky pretty quickly. I mean, it's already getting icky, but it's going to get really icky quickly.
I look at it the same way I look at streaming services. I'm the kind of person who, like, I'll subscribe to a service for a month just to watch one series, and like that's it. That's all I'll watch, and then I'll cancel next month because that's all I watched. That's all I wanted to watch. And so something like just playing or just buying this pass just for one game, doesn't seem hardly worth it for me. You'd really have to like be playing a bunch of the games in the library to really, get the value out of it. And I mean, like you guys were saying, the deals on Steam for these games are just so insane that it kind of begs like the debate for like, $70 games. Why pay $70 for games when these amazing games that are just like a year or two old, like $20, $15, like unbeatable game. What's the subreddit called? Patient Gamer. They just talk about how like, the games look amazing. I'll wait for 2 years down the line when the game is like 60 to 80% off. It has all the patches, all the DLC is in the game. It's like Sean said, the value is so hard to calculate out of this, and any way I could think of it, it just looks bad.
Yeah, it does. Whenever I try to start working it out, it looks bad.
It does, and I want to own things. Like I want to own games I actually like, even if it's just a key on a license on an account. I prefer knowing that I will always have that, and I don't have to be beholden to some online service that I'm paying $30 a month for until I die, like for the rest of my life. Like what's going on here? Like I want to just own Red Dead 2, man. I just want to like run around and shoot bad guys. Like
yeah. And I think another terrible idea about this is like the tiers have like, and I'm looking at the infograph or whatever you call it right now that they officially released. Essential says 50 plus games. Premium says 200 plus games. Ultimate says 400 plus games. And like, what games are those, right? I mean, you obviously don't get to pick which games they are. They're picked for you, which has a major impact. If I only want to play 2 of the games, but they're only available on the 400 game package, then why am I buying these other 150, 200 games for? It's so ridiculous the way they're sequestering these out, and it makes no rhyme or reason.
Yeah,
It's tough.
I'm here or there to like in regards to the games they actually have on offer, because they have been good for like day ones, and having Call of Duty is nice. Things like Indiana Jones and Outer Worlds 2, things like that being on day one is nice. But on the other hand, there's just like a very large fraction, maybe like half of the catalog is like indie games or games that you look at them and are just like, never playing that. Like obviously they probably a lot of those probably are good games. I'm just talking about like how it looks from a glance. You know what I mean? I'm just like, there's like a few standouts that everyone is paying. Like that's the only reason anyone is buying Game Pass, and then there's just a large blob of like inconsequential games.
Yeah.
So
I'm
here
in a weird. It's in a weird way. I also like Taylor. Taylor just played a game called, I think it's called Symphonia on Game Pass. I apologize if that's the incorrect name, but it's a side-scrolling platformer. Where it's your character in a musical world. That's not the point. The point is it's an indie game, and Taylor played it on Game Pass and enjoyed it. And then after playing it, was like, dang, I kind of wish I'd actually just supported the developer and not given them 20 cents from Game Pass. Like it's kind of creates this weird situation. It just creates a weird.
It is weird.
I don't know, arrangement. It definitely
because
feels
that's a really good
I'm
point.
guessing they're being
it's
paid
kind of
by
the
Xbox, but then you wonder if they just went solo, would they make more money? You never know. It's difficult to calculate. Yeah.
It kind of feels like the Spotify of video games now, where no matter how many times you hear the song on repeat, the artist is getting pennies, not or fractions of a penny, right? Like they're just getting nothing out of it. So it does feel bad that you're not directly supporting, your money. What was the game, like $15-20? I bought it. Great game, by the way. Is that the rhythm based shooter? Is that right? Am I thinking the right kind of game?
I'm thinking of one that was not rhythm based at all. It was just a cute little platformer with like a character that like jumped on music.
I know the one you mean.
Okay. But yeah, like literally you'd be paying directly to the developers versus like, who does this $10 go to each month? There's so many developers in this package. They can't be getting more than a couple pennies, like.
Right.
So I think that's perfectly reasonable for you to feel that way, and yeah, it's especially with like I said, going back to, you won't own it if you buy it, and the whole 50 games versus 400 games. If the only way you'd get value out of this is if you pay like 10 games in a year or however many, then if those 10 games were on the 400 games package, then that doesn't even matter anymore, does it? Like, who decides which package these games go to? There's so many arbitrary stuff that you have to deal with that it's and you won't even. How do you even know what games are in the package before you buy it? They didn't release anything on that. There's so many questions, and I'm not liking the answers I'm getting.
Yeah, it's also just I maintain, I think I said at the top, which is just like, even if people are still okay paying 30 right now for it, there will come a day that price goes up. Probably in the next 6 months, a year, where it goes to 40 or it goes to 50, and people will have to have this conversation again until they opt out. And once they opt out, good luck getting them to opt back in at a higher price point. You burn people and they're not coming back to this ecosystem. So I don't know. I just think Steam is too valuable, or is just, there's too many good sales on Steam, and patient gaming is a pretty good proposition. But I also understand the impulse to be like, everyone's playing this thing right now, I want to play this thing with everyone. Like I totally get that vibe. Like I understand that vibe, but yeah, when you look at the prices, it gets pretty crazy. I mean, it's like, you better be GTA 6 to get me to fork over that much money. And if you're not, like, I'm going to feel a little ripped off. I'm not going to feel great. So,
yeah.
Right. Here's what me and my friends do every now and then. We'll see a game that we're like, oh, this sounds like a good game for us to play. And like, instead of buying the game, to play it for like, I don't know, like a night or two that we usually play these new games for, we're like, oh, it's on Game Pass. It's like, okay. So we'll get like a month of Game Pass. We'll pay like whatever it was, like $7, but whatever it is now, $10. But you pay for it for a month. You may play for a couple days and then you just unsubscribe, and that's great. But like now you can't even do that anymore. If the Game Pass is now if that game is only on the ultimate tier, Now you're having to pay, $30 for a month of access that you're not even going to use. It seems far less reasonable to do that now. And then, of course, the whole subscription thing is, you're worried that it's going to roll over to another month it's another subscription you're hoping you don't forget about, that you buy another month of that you don't need, So it's just, it doesn't fit the kind of atmosphere of gaming as much as it did for streaming, if that makes any sense.
It is going to be super interesting to come back to this episode in a year's time or 2 years' time and see what the monthly cost of Game Pass is. Because I don't think it's the roof. I don't think we're at the end right now. I think the story gets worse before
Honestly,
it gets better.
Hot take from Sean. Because of the insane backlash to this price hike, I can't see it going up much more. What I think is more likely to happen is games will start being taken off Game Pass to try and save costs. There might be like a minor increase, but yeah, I think the backlash to this one was so bad, I'd be surprised if it got like much more expensive. But obviously,
you heard it here first, folks. You heard it here. Sean thinks it ain't going up in price. Well, let's
subscribed to Game Pass, guys. Stay subscribed. Oh my god, no, that'll get me assassinated.
I hope
that'll get me assassinated.
I hope you're right.
I hope you're right too.
I hope Sean's right.
We got our next
There's two things against you that I'd have to say, and one is the average price of AAA games going up to like $70 and $80.
Yeah.
Like that would give them a bit more motivation to turn up, because now that actual buying a game costs more, now we can do the thing more. And then also there's the point that I forget if it was Xbox or PlayStation, but they actually raised the price of their consoles, which is unprecedented.
That's right, yeah.
Absolutely unprecedented to do this. So this is the kind of market we're in now, where apparently consoles are going up in price as time goes on. So, I mean, I hope you're right, but man, this is not looking good for value or economy.
Yeah,
we shall see. I'm really excited to see. I would hope it doesn't go up much more, but it's going to be interesting. That's for sure. If people backlash this hard at $30, imagine how crazy it's going to be when it goes up to 40 or 50. They're going to lose their minds. So
yeah.
Well,
interesting to see.
Since there's a little bit of time left, do you mind if I go on a little Halo thing? I'd like to get your thoughts on it as well, if that's possible. Because basically,
what they do now?
Well, basically. Well, listen, okay. So this next upcoming weekend is Halo's HCS esports tournament that they do yearly, and it's always a big deal for the community, or what's left of it.
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I think they actually are quite popular, to be fair. There's a lot of people that go, and it's like an event. People go and dress up and shit, and there's usually some cool stuff going on there. And this year they've said that they are announcing projects, plural, at this one. So it'll be this weekend or next weekend. I don't remember. I think it's this weekend. They are definitely going to announce and probably show at least one game. And like I said on this show a couple of times, that leaked many times, is that it's going to be a remake of the first game. In my opinion, I think they might announce the next sequel, the next chronological game as well. But I think we'll definitely see this Halo 1 Unreal Engine 5 remake. And along with these leaks, a new leak has come along over the last few weeks that's caused a lot of controversy. Are either of you familiar with the whole sprint debate and advanced movement debate?
A little bit, yeah.
So basically, all of the Bungie Halo games, aside from Halo Reach, which included it as an optional Spartan ability, had no sprint. They were just, like Doom Arcade sort of walking, you're always running kind of, but you never drop the gun. There's no sprint animation where you start dropping the gun and running fast. Everyone
Gotcha.
passively runs at the same speed, like Doom. That's the best thing I can compare it to, because Halo originally kind of was like a Doom inspired situation. I think that's where it comes from. A lot of games from the 90s and 2000s were just like that, and Halo was one of them. But then, starting when 343 Industries, now known as Halo Studios, took over, all the games included sprint, and it's been a huge raging debate in the community for 15 years about the impacts of having sprint and whether or not they should. And I'm on team no sprint. The reason is there's been no good games since since like Bungie left, and games with like sprint and clamber and stuff. Like when I say clamber, I mean the ability to like climb stuff. It has been in like the last few Halo mainline titles, and a lot of people, like original Halo fans, argue that it takes away from the feeling of always having your gun up, like always being able to shoot. Because in the classic Halo games, there was never any, like climbing stuff where you drop your gun on your arms, come up and you climb.
Yep.
And there was never any sprinting, and there was never any animations that involved dropping the gun. They were always you're always like floating around with the gun aimed. That's what they were all like, and it gave a very specific like feel to the way the combat felt.
Yeah.
And that's
no ADS.
No ADS.
Except for sniper stuff.
Except for
kind of,
weapons with
kind of scope stuff.
Weapons with scopes on them would have ADS.
Yeah.
That was how that worked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a nice canon reason with that, and that's because Spartans have, they have technology where you can see the crosshair through your visor without aiming. That's Halo canon, and it works in with the game really well, because in the game when you see that crosshair, that's not just gameplay. That's canon. What the Spartan is seeing through his eyes whenever you see a crosshair. So that debate has been raging on, and basically this has culminated in leaks for the last like 2 or 3 weeks that this Halo 1 remake, a remake of the first game, the game that started it all, will include sprint and the ability to like climb up on stuff as well. And this is obviously a huge deal, because it's not just any remake and it's not just any new game, it's a remake of the first one, like the game that started it all. And it's probably going to be really cool, and it's going to be on PlayStation, and it might be really successful. And, it's kind of, that could be like a weird little revisionist history, like tarnishing the legacy of the first game by modernizing it, basically, like melding it in with modern Halo games and stuff, and the like, because that's basically the only reason they ever even included it, because the 343 era of Halo have always tried to be like other popular shooters. That's why sprint was included. That's why the ability to climb stuff was included, because they were always trying to be Call of Duty. They wanted to be Call of Duty really badly throughout Halo 4 and 5, and even like partly in Infinite as well. They're always going for like the larger audience. That's been their thing. It's never worked. All their games have died after like maximum a couple of weeks. All of their games. Halo 4 might have lasted a couple of months. Halo 5, no. Halo Infinite, weeks at most before that game died.
I feel bad for Halo fans, man.
Yeah, it's rough, isn't it?
They deserve to be eaten good. It's rough out here for Halo fans.
Like I'm apathetic at this point. I told my friends, I was like, no matter what happens come this weekend, you probably won't see me excited. Like next content farm, because we'll record next Monday. Obviously, we'll probably have seen it by then. If not, like maybe the day after. I don't know. I have no idea how the schedule's going to work. But like, you won't see me excited, because I'm apathetic toward the franchise at this point, because it's just been year after year after year after year after year of like disappointing news, disappointing announcements, developers trying to justify like why they're doing the same thing for the third game in a row. But that's happened so many times. Just like arguing with developers, justifying repeating the same mistakes. No split screen co-op. There hasn't been split screen co-op since like Halo 4. Which was
a staple. That was a staple that sold consoles originally.
Absolute staple. I have so many good memories of playing Halo games with my bro co-op on the same console.
Huge.
The fact they get rid of that, and actually, I was so pissed that what was it, Infinite?
Yeah.
Didn't have co-op at all.
They added it eventually, but it was like
junk. Yeah. But it came without it. Like, so
wow.
What's the Halo game without co-op? I completely.
This is what I mean. It's just apathy at this point, because it's just like someone keeps disappointing you so much, you just give up on them. You just tell them to go off and do their own thing. That's definitely how I feel towards it. Because it's just every game. It's just the excuses start coming out every time.
And speaking of that,
they were like, we're not doing split screen co-op at all. Actually, co-op campaign will come out. It might be like next year. I think it took a year for the first
Good grief.
co-op.
That's crazy. Jeez.
Yeah, that's why there's a general sense of apathy.
Did you hear about the developer for was it like the main lead or the art art lead or something?
This is an advancement as of like a few days ago. A main art lead left, and he said it's because of something that's happening inside the studio, but he can't say.
Yeah, but he wasn't specific on it. Yeah, no. Which is very concerning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone
so either they're going to take it in a different direction.
So everyone thinks it's AI. Yeah, that's the current running theory, is that Microsoft are using AI to help like develop.
Jeez.
Yeah.
My first assumption was they're just going to pull it straight from the Halo formula. They're going to go like bizarre directions with like you know the gameplay and the skins, and they're just going to go like weird monetary routes. But I mean, it is possible they could just be putting AI in there. And being an art lead, I could definitely see him having a lot of issues with that. So
honestly,
we'll
it's
see,
just
not looking
just history repeating itself. Honestly, like any Halo fan who hasn't recognized the pattern at this point is like seriously in denial, like to a mental illness stage, because it's a pattern that's been recurring since 2012. It's been like 13 years now. Like a new game gets announced, like, you know, bad leaks start coming out. This is word for word has happened 3 times. Bad leaks start coming out. A trailer comes out and it gets people like, oh, this doesn't look that good. People start leaving. This happened for Halo Infinite and Halo 5 as well. Developers start leaving and saying creepy anonymous shit. This happens all the time. And then the fans get themselves excited and then the game dies. This is the cycle that's been going on for 3 games now. And so far, I'm only seeing the same thing. So I have no expectation because I just knew this would happen.
Warranted.
Knew this would happen.
Sean, I am not even a Halo enjoyer, and I know the monkey meme, the Halo Infinite monkey meme.
Monkey,
I am not even a Halo player, and I know of these memes. So you're describing this process, and I'm like, yeah, I think I've seen this cycle before. I think I've seen this play out in the Halo media. Like, it's kind of a bummer.
Halo Infinite was particularly bad. It's a $500 million budget game. It cost $500 million to make, and it's probably one of the most unfinished things ever. It came out looking like a fucking Roblox custom map, and like,
but it had a hook shot, so
it did have a grapple hook,
now, right?
Grapple hook's cool. I'll give them that. The grapple hook.
Oh god!
But like,
to pay that much money into a game and not get anywhere near what like GTA expecting to get for how much they dumped into it.
Yeah,
right.
That's like Concord levels of ugh.
It's I think it's sad because like Halo used to represent like quality. It used to be the pinnacle of quality for Xbox and that brand, and
it was the console maker. I mean, I think both you guys remember like especially like 2 and 3 when they came out. Like obviously the first one coming out wasn't as big because it wasn't established, but because of the first one's success, when Halo 2 and 3 came out, they were events. You had like midnight releases at game stores, lines going blocks back. Like massive like marketing campaigns, bags of Doritos with Master Chief on it. Like it was nuts. Like these were actually, you know, huge, massive things. And then now we're, you know, it's like a wet fart when a Halo game comes out because everyone knows better than to expect anything.
Literally, everyone knows.
Even sad.
Yeah. Even me, and I loved the first couple games, but man, Infinite came out and it was like, that's it. That's all you got. You know,
you're right though, Peter. I remember like even I wasn't an Xbox gamer, but I remember when those big Halo releases came out. My friend group would like our heads would turn. We'd be like, "Whoa, there's a Halo game come out. This is pretty crazy. This is pretty epic." And now it's like, geez, you didn't even hear it. That's crazy. They launched Infinite without co-op. What an embarrassment. That is wild. Like, what decision, what pipeline did y'all decide to prioritize over co-op? That is crazy. Like,
no, it's a cycle that repeats it. Like, they always put on like a really good PR face as well. After Halo 5 came out with no co-op, with no split screen, sorry. At the time she left during the development of Halo Infinite because of the development hell. Most people like half the studio left. I'm not even kidding. But like, she came out and she was like, we hear you all, and from now on, every single Halo game will have split screen co-op, is what she said. So even even when they come out and like make a deliberate announcement to say something, they can't be trusted. They're it's an untrustable company. They have never stood. They've never stood on their word a single time. How anyone has any faith, I have no idea. And I will fully admit that like there's a chance this Halo remake could come out and be good. But what am I supposed to think? Is the point I'm making.
Right.
Like, well, after all this time, what am I supposed to think? What am I supposed to be excited about? I've seen this happen time and time again. I've seen this happen for more than half my life. More than half of my years on this earth this has happened. So
Peter and I are going to be ready when you show up depressed AF next week. We'll be like, well, we know why he's depressed.
You will,
oh gosh.
Yeah. Yep, I'll be depressed too.
Seeing a remaster of the first game in nice graphics is going to be hard to not get excited, but I will restrain myself because I know better. I've been here so many times. I was so excited for Halo Infinite. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Yeah, I'm scarred.
I mean, I remember the PC release. It was huge when Halo was coming on PC, and then what we got was just this very strange, wonky port.
Wasn't it so weird? It was like the worst port ever. Like nothing worked. I remember when it first came out, the KBM was like really glitched. Like it was just playing on keyboard and mouse was like they had like force mount acceleration.
The aiming was really awful. I couldn't put my finger on, but yeah, there was, and then a bunch of bugs, performance issues.
Yeah, the campaign would tank everyone's GPUs, like even like the top end rigs. The campaign was too difficult to run.
Yeah, and then Halo 2 on PC, was that the one where you had to have like Windows 8 or something to run it?
Vista, like Windows Vista.
Vista, yeah.
They do not have a good record on PC, and it's not improved over the last few years. When Halo 2 on the Master Chief Collection launched on PC, it was, oh my god, it was like a stop frame film. It was seriously like a stop frame film, and there was a bug in multiplayer where if you shot the floor, random people would start dying around the map in multiplayer. That's one of my personal favorite glitches of all time, I think. Yeah, if you shot the floor, a random player on the map would take damage. So you could shoot a rocket launcher on the floor and just get like a multi-kill.
What the fuck?
Finally, a multiplayer game I can dominate in.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't even understand how that even functions.
I don't
nonetheless, gets past testing.
I don't know. There was no testing for MTC on PC. They were trying desperately. They were trying desperately to address the like, because that was at the time where them modders, El Dorito, made that really good Halo mod, and they were trying to get in there, so they were probably rushing so fast while developing Halo Infinite as well. They had like 2 separate teams. They were probably rushing so fast to get Halo on PC because people were fucking begging for it. They didn't test anything. It was so buggy that like if one person tested it, you would have seen the bug. So it just can't have been tested. They have a terrible track record on PC. All of the ports were bad. All of them. All of the MCC games were bad on PC. Save for like Halo 1 in the classic graphics, aka a game that's already on PC. The only one that's already on PC apart from Halo 2 Vista.
Anecdotally, it is kind of funny that there are some games that have poor launches that go on to have redemption arcs. Like, I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 is the one that comes to mind. Like, some games actually do like dig themselves out of a pretty big hole, and it happens. Yeah, it does. People like to see a redemption arc, you know. But it's like with these Halo games, it's just like all we get is monkey memes and like distressed gamers being like they're screwing it up. So, geez, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Anyway, apologies. I just wanted to hit that Halo news before it preemptively before the announcement, that I'm sure is imminent. So I can definitely come back to that one next week when we know what the deal is. Are we okay with are we okay with leaving it there, gentlemen?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. It was a fun time.
That was a very good session. All right. I'll end there. Goodbye.
All right.
Goodbye. And I challenge you, Sean, at least once today, use the phrase, "That's a spicy meatball." Try to just throw that in there casually. Throw that in there casually somewhere.